get going here. So, gentlemen, first off, thanks for taking the time to join us here. There are two competing voices post-October 7th. There's a voice that says to American Jews that the barbarians are at all of the gates of Israel, and as bad as it is in America right now dealing with anti-Semitism, we cannot cede the battleground here. We cannot flee. There's another set of voices that say, come home. You're not going to walk down the streets of Netanya or Modin and hear calls for your death. You'll be welcomed by neighbors who love you. Which voice should American Jews be listening to right now? I want to go one by one and ask that question.
So, obviously, as an Israeli, as a Jew, I personally believe that every Jew belongs in Eretz Israel and should be living there. But eventually, it's an individual decision. And as long as Jews choose to live abroad in the diaspora, it is our obligation, first of all, as a government and as an Israelis and Jews in Israel and abroad, to make sure that there is prosperous, secure Jewish life everywhere, that we are combating anti-Semitism, that we are fighting it, and make sure that every Jew, wherever he wants, will be able to have a rich, full Jewish life for him and for his family.
So I want to connect to the word choice. Nefesh B'Nefesh was established by Rabbi Fess and Tony Gelbart, who we spoke with just before, and promoted the idea of Aliyah of choice. Our mission is to give every Jew the ability to choose. And I think that if you come and give the tools that the Director General spoke about, and I'm sure Eric will elaborate on, the tools that Israel offers in order to integrate, I think that the community here is big enough to have those who choose to stay, but those who choose to come, and our mission is to give them those tools.
Mike, I came from Boston over the weekend. We went to MIT, we went to Harvard, we spoke to Israeli faculty there. We spoke to students who are, some more proudly, some less so, graduating. We just walked, in the Israeli parade behind the banner of the Israel government, and then flags behind of both the United States and the flag of Israel together. Went to grab a quick bite before coming here, and we went to a kosher restaurant, and we heard Spanish and Portuguese and French. And I think that right now, and we could talk about numbers, we could talk about statistics, we could talk about sentiments, but the fact on the ground is, if you come and see and you feel and talk to the people, we're very strong in Israel, we're very strong here, the Jewish communities feel strong here, and what the government of Israel is trying to say, and if you heard my CEO previously, Avichai Kahana, speak about a picture of victory, is, the motto of Nefesh B'Nefesh is you're not running away from something, you're running to something. Right now, that picture of victory is coming out of a sense of solidarity, okay? The community here is incredibly powerful. We were just in France a month ago. Maybe not as powerful, but still strong. And the Jews feel confident, but those who are coming because they feel a very strong sense of solidarity. And it's 19,000 people strong since the beginning of the war. And that's just the cusp, the beginning, because it takes time to plan Aliyah. And what we're trying to say in the government is right now we're going to invest a tremendous amount of effort to capitalize on this window of opportunity, if you will, of people who feel that sense of solidarity. But that's what it's about as far as the government is concerned.
I wanted to expand on that because there is two different things going on simultaneously in terms of Aliyah right now. There are people that are filing their Aliyah application because they're scared of what's happening in America. But at the same time, because of October 7th, so many Jews have reconnected with Judaism in a very surprising way and reconnected with maybe a childhood affinity for Israel. What is your sense of that? I know you can't put an exact percentage on it, but what is your sense about where that divide is right now? How many are coming to Israel out of fear? How many are running away and how many are running to?
So I checked that statistics this morning because since October 7th, we saw 6,000 North Americans apply for Aliyah. 6,000. Of those, only 4.5% mentioned that anti-Semitism is a reason for their Aliyah. 4.5%. The majority, the vast majority of the applications we get are saying that the reason is Zionism, want to serve in the IDF because of the war, and these are facts. We see more and more people that feel that solidarity Eric spoke about and want to come because their real connection to the state of Israel.
So in effect, the enemy's plan has backfired. They wanted to eliminate Zionism. They're actually strengthening it in some ways.
And not only that, what Ron does is to connect them to their Judaism.
Yeah, exactly. So I just want to add to that. Eventually, you mentioned the word Zionism, so the reasonable person abroad would not have tolerance for anti-Semitism, the reasonable person. But he will have a lot of tolerance for anti-Zionism. Our job is to make sure that every person abroad realizes that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. There is no daylight between them. And this is exactly what we're trying to make sure that people will understand and to close this huge gap between the tolerance to anti-Zionism and the intolerance to anti-Semitism.
I wanted to ask you something because we try to learn from our own mistakes, but I think sometimes we overlook the enemy's successes. You had mentioned something to me about your ministry learning from the successes right now of the Hamas supporters and the way they're utilizing social media, the way they're utilizing certain tactics, and trying to turn the tables on them. I found it interesting. I wanted to go into a bit more detail with you on that.
So because we're here just the two of us and no one is listening,
right,
and I cannot be quoted, obviously, I will just say that we have a lot to learn from our rivals. They are well coordinated. You have hundreds and thousands of NGOs worldwide working on same hashtags, same campaign, same messaging, and it works eventually. We are in a cognitive warfare which we are losing. And the only way to do better in this cognitive warfare is actually two things. First is work together, be able to coordinate better our own efforts. And the second thing is to use our Jewish brains. We are smarter than them, and we should utilize our brains in order to win not only in the physical warfare, but also in this cognitive warfare.
I wanted to ask you, because an Olim, an Oleh who's coming to Israel, feels that recent connection, maybe a post-October, it's fresh in them, it's new for them. Does that make them a stronger candidate to be a successful Oleh or Olah?
So another experience from an hour ago. We just went to a ceremony of one of our flagship programs called Garin Tzabar. These are young 18, 19, 21-year-olds, strong, old, and either they're post-grad or they just completed high school. And we wanted to hear their stories instead of listening to us talk. The whole group, we went one by one. And what are you guys thinking? We had a young lady, she just graduated from Berkeley. I think everyone knows what's going on in Berkeley. And what they said is that they never felt a stronger will to come. Some of the people said pre-October 7, they weren't even contemplating it. There's this new concept called the October 8th Jew. So I think that right now, the October 8th Jew, more and more, in exponential numbers, I've mentioned the numbers, I can tell you it's not just here. France, it's 400% increase. We have exponential increase in the UK, in Canada, Western countries predominantly, but not only. And a lot of these people want to come now. By the way, in the government we call Dafka Achshav, deliberately now, specifically now. There's a government program called the Umbrella Program now to facilitate this is called Afal Pichen, which I guess you could say is despite of or especially now hundreds of millions invested by the government to facilitate for these people in this window of opportunity. So to answer your question with a very long answer is that 100%. There's a stronger sense, it's a stronger Ole, and I think it's going to be prolific, and there will be ripple effect to this way past the war, way past Bezat Hashem, when we bring back all the Chatufim, because to make Aliyah takes time, and this is a phenomena that we're already identifying now.
I just want to add to what Eric said that, again, I've met over the weekend dozens of people who come over and say, you know, I'm coming this summer, I'm going to come next year, I'm going to come in 2 or 3 or even 7 years. They have a plan. They are starting to plan, they're starting to research. Our job, Nefesh B'Nefesh, the Ministry of Aliyah Integration, together with the Jewish Agency, is to make sure that they're fully prepared, to make sure that they know where they're coming, they will have a job ready, they'll know where they're going to live, and they will strengthen Israel more and more.
We have about 30 to 45 seconds left per answer, but I feel it's an important question I want to close out on. We talked about the two different voices, but you're not competing with each other. There's just a good faith effort on both parts, and it's all to strengthen the Jewish world in the long run. How can the quote-unquote Aliyah folks help strengthen the diaspora, and how can folks focusing on the diaspora help to strengthen those making Aliyah? I'll start with you, gentlemen.
Strong Israel, strong global Jewry. By the way, I don't even call it diaspora, I call it global Jewry. If you walk down, again, the Israel parade, they're waving the flag of Israel. These are people waving the flag of Israel. We have hundreds of thousands, if not more, of Israelis here. Some of them are also coming back, Toshavim Chozrim, returning citizens. But point being is that it's feeding each other. Now, what we want to do, our job, is to make sure that those who are considering coming back or we want to consider coming, we will give them everything within our means to give them. And right now, unprecedentedly, there are more rights and benefits, and we're a service to accompany them, and a special package for students, and a special package with Nefesh B'Nefesh for physicians. But the point being is it's there for you if you want it, and the stronger we are over there, the stronger we're going to be over here, and vice versa.
Ron?
And again, these people are coming to Israel. They're contributing to the country, but they're not forgetting where they came from. And I think that uniqueness of being in both worlds, that strengthens both communities.
The Ministry of Diaspora's work is to strengthen Jewish identity and connection to Israel. Now, a Jew abroad with a strong Jewish identity and a strong connection to Israel is a great thing for everyone, whether he decides to make Aliyah or not. But I think that eventually, as much as we connect Jews abroad to the state of Israel, I assume it also affects on the Aliyah. So eventually we're absolutely not competing, we are completing each other.
One Israel. Ron, Zev, Eric, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.